Hey guys, what's up? Lewin here at GarageBand and Beyond. I am really excited to talk about this thing that I'm going to talk about today. What I'm going to show you is this thing right here, the Psp Vintage Warmer 2. There's a link below, so go ahead and click on that when I'm done talking to you. But this is sort of one of the most impressive plugins that sort of does a little or a lot of bit of everything. This is great for individual tracking, and it's really great for mastering, and it's not very expensive. So the first thing I wanted to show you was it on an acoustic guitar track, because it does a really, really nice job on an acoustic guitar track. I am using it, let's actually put it more on the multi-band compression limiter, and I'm going to make it heavy, just so you can really hear what it's doing. And here we go. So this is with it off first, and I'll turn it on halfway through or somewhere in there, and you'll hear it. So that's off. That's on. Off. And back on. Right? So you should definitely hear a big difference when it's on or off. The things that I hear happening really, especially on acoustic guitar, it takes the high end and it definitely is boosting it, but in a very nice way. You know, a lot of plugins, there's lots of like boosting in the high end, and it just sounds digitally, it sounds glassy, and not very, I don't know, desirable. I don't really like a lot of that high end boost that happens in a lot of common normal plugins. This is one, you know, this accurately, to me, as very accurately recreates that vintage sound, you know, where the, you know, digital recording is always, the big problem has been that high end, and for years we're combating it. This is a great thing to use to do that. So let me show you too, because it has tons of plugins, and like I was saying, you know, it starts with a mastering one. All these ones up top are mastering stuff. But then as you see, you get down here, this is more for individual record or individual tracks, guitar tracks, clean guitar tracks, heavy rhythm, all these things for drums and guitars and basses, all that kind of stuff. It sounds great on everything that I have tried it on so far. But let me show you it for mastering purposes, because I know that this is a big problem for a lot of people. Getting the proper volume when you export, and I know I've made a video about it, but this is a much better way of doing it. So let's open up a different project and talk about mastering with the Psp Vintage Warmer 2. All right, so here we are inside of a project. This is the Christmas song that we did with Sunshine Superman, and this is a unmastered version of it that I exported just for this purpose. You can see I have it titled PSP Experiment. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention really quickly is that I'm going to be using the Vintage Warmer 1 on this, not the Vintage Warmer 2, because on the website they do recommend that you use this particular plugin for mastering instead of the other one where you really do, you know, where you need that fat button. But the biggest difference between Vintage Warmer 1 and 2 is that fat button. So anyway, let's listen to it with it off. Turn it on. This year, I'm counting down the hours for a plane that flies across the sea. I'm going home for Christmas this year. Back on. I cannot wait to see them and rejoin their beautiful company. Right? That should be pretty obvious to you what it's doing. It's doing such a good job. I really love this thing. I'm definitely making this review a little bit earlier, so I can't give you too much instruction because I've been just playing with the presets, but I was just blown away about how good the presets were on this, and how little manipulation I had to do. I mean, on this, I don't even think I really did anything. I'm using the mix heavy driven tape sound. It's awesome. Let me show you what the light sounds like, just to give you a comparison. So we'll start with it off. Here's it on. Back off. Back on.
The bells ring. Do you hear?
Right? So very, very obvious what it's doing. You know, to my ears, it's definitely doing a really beautiful job with the low end, giving it a really nice roundness to it that is definitely vintage. You know, it has that sort of like round, sort of thumpy, very much a Paul McCartney tone. That's kind of how I hear it. It definitely has that Hofner tone, and that's an upright bass in this recording. So, you know, it's not safe, not really safe to say. So don't feel like you have to comment about that comment. I know he's using a Hofner, Paul McCartney, and I know my bass player is using a upright. But it has that tone, that just sort of that thumpy, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. It's really good. And again, in the high end, it's doing a bunch of really nice work. So, you know, there's lots of stuff to read and look online about this, especially on the website. Definitely check out their website below. And, you know, I'm just here to tell you that it's great. If you're looking for, you know, to buy one plugin that does a bunch of different things, you can buy this one plugin and it does a bunch of different things. Now, it also does come with 2 other plugins, Vintage Warmer 2 and the Micro Warmer, which is right here. I can show you. It's basically the same thing, slightly less presets. This is, you know, ideally for individual tracks. This would be perfect for that. Vintage Warmer itself right here, this would be for mastering, and then the Vintage Warmer 2 for mastering or individual tracks. You really can do whatever you want with all 3 of them. They recommend a few different things, so read what they have up on the website. But really, for the money that you end up spending on this, you get something that's great for tracking and totally great for mastering. So you can't go wrong. I think it's $150 is what I think off the top of my head. I think that number's right. And they give away free samples. So you can actually download a free version of these things and try it out on your own recordings before you buy it. I don't know exactly what the limitations are to the demo versions, but usually it's some sort of like audio, you know, dropout. It actually just turns off every 10 seconds or something, but it does give you a very good idea of what it will sound like in your own studio. So definitely check this thing out, the Psp Vintage Warmer. Got that link below, check it. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Happy holidays to everybody, and I'll be seeing you next week. All right, later.